today I'm showing you a finished quilt top. This will definitely be my final finish for 2023, and it's one I've been working on for a really long time. I looked back through my journal and I started this quilt on September 4th and I finished on December 10th. So very, very long time. The quilt top actually I got done very, very quickly. It was the quilting that really helped me up. I showed you that quilting in my last video where we kind of went over it pre-washed, but now I've added the binding, finished it all up, washed it, and I'm ready to show you. I'm gonna show it to you far away, and then I will show you close-ups. And here's the back. So, yay. The front of the quilt is made with all of the Clover fabric line, and then it's made with some random low volumes. The back is called Aqua de Rose, and it's a wide back, and I think it looks so great with this fabric collection. And it's from Art Gallery Fabrics. Anyway, so let me give you close-ups, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the kit we have in stock for this one.
So I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I did show you this quilting already in a whole separate video. But you can see how different it looks after you wash it. All that flat surface is gone, and the crinkles really come about. I always feel like if the free motion quilting, the best way to show it off is before you wash it, because everything kind of, you know, not disappears because you can still clearly see the quilting, but it's not as, I guess, in focus or as sharp to the eye as the crinkles are here. So the crinkles just are really almost all I see. And that's one of the things about free motion, if you're afraid of it, to not be afraid of it, because once you wash it, I mean, can you see any mistakes in this quilt? I can't even find the mistakes that I know was there because the crinkles just kind of hide everything. So here it is, and here's that back up close. And then a couple things that I wanted to mention while I was showing this quilt was that we've been talking about thread a lot in my emails, my bi-weekly emails. And this here on the top of this quilt is the kimono silk. And that's the one that I really, really like for my quilting. And then on the back, I always use that micro quilter. And the reason I use that micro quilter is because you don't see my stitches like thick. You don't see thick stitches. They kind of just, you know, fade into the quilt, and you really have to get up on them to even see them. So it makes the crinkles, but the thread doesn't just really stand out like a few of the quilts I have where before knowing that, I quilted with like a 50 weight thread or a 40 weight thread in my bobbin, and I didn't get these itty bitty tiny stitches. I got, you know, chunkiness. And for some quilters, that may be just fine, but I tend to do a lot of buildup in my designs. I mean, I really just quilt these things to death. So all that buildup, and if I was using like a 40 to 50 weight thread, that wouldn't be as nice on the back. I'll show you what that buildup looks like. Here is the buildup in the 100 weight thread. And if you've never seen I wish I had a quilt here to show you, but if you've never seen buildup, I mean, just it's really thick. Like this would be just completely white thread if I was using, you know, anything a little bit thicker. Again, this is micro quilter 100 weight thread on the back, and this is I think this is 60 weight. No, I think it's 100 weight kimono silk. So I don't use this thread a lot because it's a little bit more expensive, but I wanted it for the doodle quilting. and I really, really like the way it turned out. There's more of that build up I always do, which is fine. You know, I like the build up. I like the way my designs do, but I don't want that to be just chunky thread, you know, on the opposite side of the quilt. All right, if you watched my my last video on this quilt where I showed you the free motion quilting, I also showed the binding, me picking the binding, kind of working my way through which binding I was going to use, which thread color I was going to use. And here's that end result. This fabric here is All Waves Settle in French Blush, and it is from my newest line, Hope and Feathers, and that thread is that one I picked from that video, and I think it turned out really, really great. I was very, very nervous that I wouldn't be able to see the stitching on this fabric, but I think I can see it just fine. If you want to see videos of me doing this quilting or a demo of how to bind this way, I'm going to link all that up right below this video.
Right, and I'm going to pop up a few pictures of while I talk, but I know a lot of you like to know exactly what was used in the quilt. So again, the front of the quilt, I used my Clover fabric line. All 15 pieces were used in this quilt, and then I mixed in some low volumes. Mostly low volumes from my own collections, but there's also a couple of Bella Solids in the quilt. I think off-white and bleached white. The backing is Aqua de Rose wide back. The binding is All Waves Settle in French Blush. My thread for the quilting was Kimono Silk number 365 on the front, and Micro Quilters 7007 on the back. The binding thread was DMC number 8, color 3328. The batting was Warm and Natural. So I'm going to put links to all of these products right below this video. The quilting style is called doodling, and it just basically means that I had no rules and I just drew all across the quilt. And that is the Dandy quilt pattern. It's in my book StashWork, and it's also going to be one of the quilt-alongs that we do next year together. So if you weren't signed up for that, again, there's a link right below this video. And some of the notes, so if you're into this whole journal thing, some of the notes I put on this quilt was, I doodle quilted this one and loved the process, but I need to pay attention to closing the swirls. I feel like I'm unrounding them at the very end. So just a tiny thing for me to watch out for. I like the stacked swirls better than the free swirls. So that's all of that. And this was the 64-inch by 72-inch quilt size, if I haven't said that already. All right, so we have this quilt's kitted at Meander and Make, and then you have the you can buy just the top fabrics, or you can add the backing, the binding, the batting, all that stuff to get it to look exactly like this if you wanted to. So I will link to that as well. Thanks for watching this video. I will see you next time.